how to think about this. First, you have to make peace with the fact that you don't know everything or even everything important. Now, if knowledge is work, then it takes work to know things. And you have a limited amount of time. You're young. You've only done a limited amount of work so far. And it's perfectly natural and unavoidable that there's a lot you don't know. Even if you're old and have spent a lot of time thinking about it, there's so many things to know, you can't know it all. But if you think you should know things that you don't already know, you're going to be very vulnerable to psychological pressure, arguments from intimidation, the feeling like, well, you're bad and not a good member of your tribe, and not a good person if you don't already know that this is a case of victim blaming and it's wrong, or character assassination and it's wrong, or whatever it is. So make peace with the fact that you don't know everything, even everything important. Try to find out the things you can. Recognize it's going to take time and going to take work. Cultivate in doing this the innocence of the child in The Emperor's New Clothes. Ayn Rand talks about The Emperor's New Clothes, that story being the kind of paradigm of an argument from intimidation. People go, oh, his clothes are so beautiful even when he's naked, because they're told that to not see the beautiful clothes is a mark of their own evil. And the child at the end of the story who mocks the emperor and points out that he's naked isn't doing it as an act of defiance. Oh, I'm going to stand up to them. He's doing it from a place of innocence. He's just, those kinds of considerations of am I good enough are not present in his mind at all, and therefore not superseding his own judgment. And you want to cultivate that kind of innocence when you think about questions, who to vote for, what's going on with the climate, whatever it is. Is selfishness good or bad? Well, how can I tell? Put aside the issue of am I good or bad for thinking this? What would it say about me that I thought this? Two more pieces of advice, I think. First, value people and sources who recognize the work that's involved in knowing things and try to help you do it. Writers, speakers who approach you as a mind, someone who doesn't know everything already, shouldn't know everything already, is trying to think it through and help you in that process. And disdain people and sources who try to intimidate you for not knowing the things they claim to know already. And do this especially with people you're inclined to agree with. Hold us, if you're here because you're inclined to agree with us, to a high standard. Beware of monolithic views of competing tribes, claims involving tribal bogeymen like George Soros or the Koch brothers, jargon and neologisms. Well, I'll leave this for the question period because we're out of time. Test any rhetorical questions that occur to you. If anyone wants to know what I mean by that, ask me. But I want to end with this piece of advice. Be selfish in your criticisms of others. And this is what's really missing from tribal thinking. It's selfless. When you observe a fault in someone else, don't pride yourself on, oh, he's bad, he made this mistake. He's one of them, the leftists or the rightists or the thisists or the thatists, and I can preen myself on being part of the group that's better and doesn't make this mistake. Rather, when you observe a fault in someone else, use it as an opportunity to improve yourself. Here's a mistake people can make. Here's a way in which people go wrong. Do I ever do that? Where might I do it if I did it? Can I check? What kinds of principles or rules or ways of thinking, methods can I adhere to so that I don't fall into this kind of error? Because I'm concerned with knowing what's true, with making the most of my life, and not with winning, where winning is seen as something you do against the other team that's a loser. Life's not about winning or losing. It's about living and knowing and doing the things you need to succeed in life.